Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. My name is Yijie and my student ID is PHP253097 and I'm PhD of Educational Science and Technology. Today I'm going to share my research proposal titled Multimodal Generative AI Impact on Critical Thinking Dispositions. Let's begin. First, let's look at the background. In higher education, inquiry-based academic writing is very important. It requires students to analyze information, connect ideas, and build strong evidence-based arguments. However, we see a big gap here. Many students struggle with this. Instead of critical analysis, they often just write simple, descriptive summaries. Now, with tools like ChatGPT, students have more support, but there is also a risk of cognitive offloading, meaning students might let AI do the thinking for them instead of developing their own academic voice. This brings us to the problem statement. When we look at existing research, most students focus only on text-based AI systems like standard chatbots. There is very little empirical evidence about how multimodal generative AI, which combines text and visuals, impacts students' critical thinking. We still do not fully know if these multimodal tools actually help students think deeper or if they just make the learning process more complicated. This is the research gap my study aims to fill. And to understand this better, this study uses a theoretical lens, Mayer's cognitive theory of multimedia learning, or CTML. According to this theory, people learn better from words and pictures than from words alone. This happens through two main channels and the visual channel. By using multimodal AI, we hope to encourage active processing. Visual evidence and feedback can help students engage more deeply and consider different perspectives when they write. So based on this framework, I have developed three key research questions. Research question 1 asks, how do multimodal Gen AI text-based AI and traditional instruction differ in helping students developing critical thinking dispositions? And the research question 2 looks at as a practical outcome. What are the differences in the quality of inquiry-based academic writing across these three groups? Last, research question 3 goes deeper into student behavior. What cognitive process and interaction patterns show up when students work with multimodal Gen AI? To answer these questions, I will use an explanatory sequential mixed method design. This research have two main phases. In phase 1, the quantitative phase, I will run a quasi-experimental study using texts and writing rubrics. In phase 2, the qualitative phase, I will conduct interviews to understand the student's experience. Finally, I will use lag sequential analysis to study their interaction logs. By combining numbers and words, we can get a complete picture of how and why this technology works. Let's look at the participations. The study will involve more than 120 undergraduate students. They will be divided into 3 instruction groups. Group A is a multimodal AI group. They will receive text and visual feedback from the AI. Group B is a text-based AI group. They will use standard conversational AI. And Group C is a control group. They will receive traditional classroom instruction without AI support. This allows us to compare the true impact of different tools. To collect data, we will use 4 main tools. First, the CCTDI, which stands for California Critical Thinking Disposition, will be used before and after the study to measure changes in student thinking attitude. Second, a professional writing rubric will evaluate their arguments, evidence, and organization. Third, we will collect interaction logs to see exactly how students prompt the AI. And fourth, we will do 45 to 60-minute interviews to capture their personal learning experience. For phase 1, we will use 2 major statistical methods. For research question 1, we will use ANCOVA, analysis of covariance. As you can see from the formula on the slide, ANCOVA allows us to control for the students' baseline scores from the pre-test, so we can actually measure the true treatment. And for research question 2, we will use it to analyze multiple factors of writing quality at the same time, including argument development, evidence integration, and organization. In phase 2, we focus on qualitative and behavioral insights. We will use thematic analysis, code the interview transcripts, and find common themes about how students evaluate AI outputs. At the same time, we will use lag sequential analysis to map out the step-by-step pattern of how students interact with the AI system. Finally, we will integrate these 2 parts to explain the real relationship between AI assistance and critical thinking. And what do we expect to find? We hypothesize that the multimodal AI group will show the highest gains in critical thinking, especially open-mindedness and truth-seeking. We also expect their academic writing quality to be stronger because the visual elements provide better cognitive scaffolding. Ultimately, we hope to prove that visuals encourage students to reflect and reason deeply, rather than just copying information. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your time and attention.